Hello friends and welcome to the channel. This is Stormhaven Gaming, I'm John and this is Timberborn. Okay, you join us on day 23 of cycle 64. We have 10 days left of the current drought and everything is going absolutely fine. As you can see, there is still water most of the way around. We're going to have to do something over here to keep this filled a little bit better. Don't know what. Maybe strip out these water pumps. And maybe put a fluid dump somewhere along here just to keep it topped up. It's not like we don't have the water elsewhere. You know, we have 14,000. We still have a fair amount in our reservoir up there. We've got a bit in this lake down here. We've got this reservoir over here. We've also got our decorative lakes over here as well. If we needed to get extra water, we could. So yeah, we might at some point strip those out and just use that river as a way to feed down into all of this. Strip out anything that sort of drains water out of there can go. Maybe deepen it as well, like I've been saying I'll do from the very earliest part of the series. Over here, moving swiftly on, we are continuing to lay in dynamite on this section. This is to bring it down a little bit so that we can have ourselves a lake. It's just going to be a lake. I'll probably come up and plant trees around it eventually. But for the moment, this is what it's going to be. I haven't quite decided where the little sort of decorative river is going to go. I had the idea of coming down here and then maybe swinging around the back of this. And then back out here. But that's a bit straight, so we might want to do some sort of groundworks on that, some decorative work on that, just to break that edge up a little bit. But for the moment, we are still slowly filling, and it is going to take a very long time to fill with a single fluid dump. I'm not sure that's going to be doing much better than keeping on top of the evaporation during the drought, but it is slowly filling. I might add another one once the drought's over, just to sort of help speed that process up a little bit. But yeah, other than that, we're doing all right. I will obviously come back once all this dynamite is laid in, and we'll set that off. And then we'll start thinking about where this rivulet is going to go. I feel like coming off of this corner is probably the best bet. And dropping down into the river there. And then we could sort of, I guess, wind it a little bit there. And loop round. I don't know. It only needs to be 2 wide at most, really. But then we'll have to figure out a nice cascading waterfall feature over here somewhere. I'm just playing at this point. All of this is very bland, isn't it now? We've brought it all down to this level. This is going to be fairly well hydrated as this water rises. What are we going to do over here? I don't think we're going to need to use the mine. We're not going to need the metal. We have a mine over here. We have a mine over here should we wish to use a mine. Yeah, I don't think we're going to use it for its intended purpose. I don't think we're going to need that much metal. So, I mean, we could just do the same thing. Come over here with a forester, plant up some trees. I mean, we could plant up some berry bushes because they spread. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Really not sure how we're going to sort of prettify the place other than just greening it and putting trees around. Well, I think we'll do that over here. Yeah, let's do that over here. Let's get a forester just in here. And we'll plant up a random selection of pine, birch and oak. So we'll just sort of dot them around here and there. Birch, yeah, we'll have a few of those. And then some oak. Be a little more sparing with the oak, I think. There we go. That'll do. And then once they're all planted, we'll clear out the planting orders and hope they spread. Now, obviously, over here, they're not going to get planted until we get some hydration over here. But hopefully that will... they will survive long enough to spread. We might just need to leave that forester on. There we go. Have them replanting any dead trees that happen. Okay, right. I will spin on then. I'll spin on until this set of explosives is ready to go. And then we'll come back and set those off. The water's returned and everything's good. We've used a little bit of our stored water there, but not a huge amount, like 2,000, something like that. Yeah, maybe. Not terrible at all. I did turn off one of these chargers up here because we got through quite a lot of our power. Yeah, we're down to about 5,700 in each battery, which isn't a lot. But that should start charging up relatively soon as the water starts returning in earnest. Everything else is fine. We'll allow everything to sort of fill up as it does. Oh, I should probably... I don't think I need to reset those. No, they're fine. But dropping these down to the same height would probably be wise. There we go. Over here we lost a fair amount of water, honestly. Over a tile's worth of water through evaporation over here. Which is less than ideal, but not something I'm going to panic hugely about at the moment because we're just not using this water for anything other than decoration. So it's fine, really. I've let everything else pretty much just sort of chunter along to itself. We're up to 151 beavers. So we have 20 spare, 9 spare beds. We should be all right. We're up to 12 spare bots. I'm going to pause our water pumps here and switch off this control tower. And then do the inverse over here. Switch this one on and then activate all of our deep water pumps. Thank you. There we go. All of these get switched back on. I'm not going to do anything to this channel just yet. I don't know if I ever will, but I should do. The intention is there, if nothing else. Okay, over here I've done a little bit of landscaping. I've built up a fake mountain at the end of here to hide our water pump. I think it looks all right. It does work. It's all connected up. We've got... If we drop that down, there we go. We've got the power coming in through here under these bits of dirt and connecting up to the main power shaft. So we can turn this on whenever we're ready. We're not ready. Yeah, I think we are definitely going to want another water pump. Water dump up here at least. So I'm going to build a couple of those. Like so. And connect those up to the path there. I'm going to set these on bot operation as well. There we go. So that drops us down to about 5 spare bots, which, again, not ideal, but it is what it is. We've cleared out the dead trees from over here. So, what are we thinking in terms of the waterfall then? Or the river, at least. Can I have some dynamite, please? Thank you. I think building us a little sort of pool for the water to drop into. And we'll put the explosives up there. We'll just stick some steps up from here to get onto there. But we want to put this river in first. And I want it to be sort of too wide, but I don't want it to be natural looking, but I don't want it to look too unnatural either. So we'll just sort of loop it around here a little bit in various ways. Like so. Yeah, I think that looks relatively okay. I think we'll widen it there as well. Maybe put the odd extra bit in as well, just to make it look a bit more natural, I guess. How's that? And then we'll just run it straight down the back here, I think, because we're not really going to see it. We'll probably want to come one wider on each of those, won't we? And then straight around the edge here. Yeah, alright. I'll finish this off. I think I know what I'm doing. Yeah, as if. But with all of that set up to go, our happiness is back, or our well-being is back down to 71. So we should probably send some beavers off to repopulate the world and give ourselves a big old boost. Given the time of day, most of our beavers should be in this area to get the boost, so that should be good. Yeah, we're already up to 74. That's pretty good. 75. There we are. Maximum happiness. Okay, I'll spin on for a couple of days. We'll see how it looks when we've got that little fake river. It feels like a Disney river, you know. That kind of polystyrene rocks and all that sort of thing. But it is what it is. We'll make it look a bit better once we've laid it in properly. Day 5 has rolled round. No sign of a drought or bad tide warning at the moment, so we're all right. Up here in this fluid dump area and charger area, I've put in a control tower. I've put in a couple of tanks for grease storage, so that our bots up here should have a little better time of things. Yeah, it does cover the chargers as well, so any bots in the charger zone will get the little boost from the control tower as well. These are set to obtain, so I'm assuming that at some point they will obtain. Yeah, everything's going okay. Our water has returned pretty much everywhere. We're flowing through here. How are we doing down here? Yeah, not too bad. We're about halfway up, so we might get to flow through there. We have a flooded building. Oh, not anymore. That's good. Yeah, everything else is going okay. We are filling this up reasonably well. Our batteries are charging reasonably well. But we've got some explosives laid in. I've no idea what this is going to look like once it's finished. I can't really visualize it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So let's set these off, shall we? Okay, that has laid in our water course. It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. We're going to keep this one here for the moment. We're not going to set that off just yet. We're going to wait until we've actually got enough water in this sort of half-moon reservoir here to actually fill up this section as well. So that's going to take a little while. We are making progress. We're nearly one tile deep. You know, we're nearly deep enough to bury the tunnel that the water feeds through. Yeah. It's going to take a little while to fill that up, but we'll get there. Don't you panic. Alright, everything else is going well. We've got our... Let's spin back around here. Our planting up here has been done. We are already spreading a few birches. Obviously, it's going to take a little longer for everything else to spread. We might be getting some pine. Yeah, it looks like we're getting some pine spreading as well. So that's nice. Oaks are obviously going to take a long time. They're going to take another, what, 20 days, something like that, to grow. At the moment, they look very regimented, but hopefully they'll still have some space around them to spread once everything else has grown up. Yeah. Right, there's the warning. Day 8. It's going to be another drought, so we're not going to get to test our bad water release system again. Such a pity. Never mind. Over here, we are finally one tile deep with the water. Yeah. Only like 3 more to go. So that's going to take a little while to fill up. Just down from there, where we've got our release valve here, letting some of the water out, I've started putting in, as you can see, a little dam. I mean, ignore the scaffolding with the steps to get down there. We'll probably delete that once it's completed construction. But it's just a levee and then a dam on top to bring this water level up and store a little bit of water in here to maintain a bit of the green. That's the plan there anyway. And obviously we'll stretch down and do the same here. And possibly replace this set of blockages with a levee and dam as well. Yeah, we could bring that up 2 layers without any problem at all. So a levee and dam across both of those sections. We'll want to come down and do it here as well, because this is where are we? This lake releases when it's deep enough, which at the moment it's not. And that's after 8 days of filling. Over here we are releasing water out of the overflow valve on this reservoir. So that's obviously filled enough. Obviously water's releasing there. But yeah, we want to dot the place with dams just to hold a little bit of additional water. Maybe come across here. Yeah, maybe. Definitely down here. Where that drop point is. We can put in maybe, actually... If we make that too deep, that'll bring it up to this level, so all of this will fill. Yeah, maybe, and that would mean we wouldn't necessarily need to put anything on here. Just have the water running through here from above. Don't know. Don't know. Maybe. We shall see about that. I mean, if we made... All right, okay. Let's have a look. What if we were to just block it off up to this level from here? Is that too much? That might be too much. I mean, it would obviously flood that mine, but do we really care about that? I mean, a single dam across there would fill all of these channels. Ooh, hang on. We might get away with it. Right, it can't be any higher than this, can it? Let's have a look. Let's bring the levels down to the level that we want there. No, we'd have to be lower than that, because that would flood all the way back up into this area as well. No. All right, we'll have to... We'll think about that, because I do think sort of... Maybe just have it too deep here and have this area filled. That should be all right. And then dams at the top. All around here. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. We'll think about it. Yeah, but this will just store a little bit more water, and we'll start our process of sort of holding water back from escaping the map. Just as an attempt to kind of keep things a little greener. Oh, this lake has overflowed. That's good. So this is running well. Excellent stuff. Our well-being is still at 74, so there's no point in setting off the repopulator just yet. We're running low on bots again. I'll have to keep an eye on that. That might be a signal that we have too many bots. And not enough bot assemblers. We'll keep an eye on it. We don't want to run too low in that area. So we might need to look at our bot production. But I'll spin on till the start of the drought. We'll see how long it's going to be, and we'll see how well we're doing with our little dam down here, and how much of this has filled up. Day 11, the drought started 17 days. Ha! I laugh in the face of your 17-day drought. That's not going to bother us at all. Okay, what's going on? Well, over here, we are slowly filling up. So we are about just over 1.5 tiles deep. So we filled up sort of half a tile in maybe 3 days, 4 days, something like that. Which isn't terrible, I suppose. We do have, you know... Well, in theory, we have 3 water dumps going, but there we are. 2 of them are going. Yeah, better than nothing. Over here, we have completed our little dam. We're probably going to get rid of those steps as well, unless I can think of a good reason not to. Can't think of a great reason not to, but I'll leave them for the moment, just in case. This lake's pretty full, so we shouldn't have any problems there. Our reservoir's pretty full. We've got this section down here that's pretty full. All of this is pretty full. Our lake down here is very full. Yeah. So, yeah, we should be all right. I've also built, just in here, a dam across here. It is just a dam because it's on a raised section there, so we'll just keep a little bit of water there. It looks like it was only just completed, so it's not going to have a huge amount in there, but still, it's a little bit that goes all the way back up to here. So it's worth having a little bit of water in that section. I don't know where the next one's going to go. I suspect probably down the end here. Or where else? So the next drop on this river is right at the end here. Okay, how are we going to get down there? We could take a spur off of this tubeway station up here, couldn't we? Or we could take a spur off of here. That'll probably be easier, actually, wouldn't it? We can come right up onto platforms or overhangs, follow the road round, and then just drop off the end here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, where are we? Tubeway. We'll use solids. Why am I putting it there? We'll put it there. And then, I mean, overhangs are much more expensive than just using platforms. But let's use them anyway. We're not using the resources for anything else, so it should be fine. Is that a 4? Yeah, that's a 4. And we will lay the... No, John, use solid tubeways. You know what will happen. You'll come along and want to lay a path or power or something on top of that and have to tear it all out or use platforms anyway. So, solid all the way. Yeah, if we come down onto there, we're going to have to wiggle our way through those trees. Let's come down this way. Let's just come all the way down here to there, and then we can pop the tubeway station right on the back there. Like that. And that'll let us get out here and put a dam across this section as well. I'll even lay in a path. There we go. Yeah, we'll fill that section in with dirt and then lay dams across the top. And that'll give us another little section to hold a little bit of water in. Okay. Okay, is that everything? Yeah, I think it is. Our well-being is still up at 74, so there's not a lot of point in setting off the repopulator again. Our bot numbers aren't doing great, so I'm keeping an eye on those. It looks like we've reached an equilibrium again at quite a low level. I have put in another worker into that second bot assembler again. I think I'm this time just going to leave them in there, and if it builds up a massive stockpile, then it builds up a massive stockpile. It means we're using resources that otherwise would just be sitting in storage somewhere. Keeps things sort of cycling. Okay, I will spin on then. As I say, 17-day drought isn't going to bother us a huge amount, is it? I think we can probably cope with that. Yeah, I'll come back probably halfway through, something like that. And we'll see what we're going to do next. Okay, that's the end of the day, or the end of the work day on day 19. So we've got about 8.5 days left of the drought, which means we're about halfway through. Well-being is still hovering around 73, so that's good. Our population seems to have settled around 140, 145. Sure, that's okay. That gives us a good few vacant. No, not vacant spots. A good few unemployed beavers to play with. Our number of bots isn't doing great. That's with the water pumps turned off along our initial channel here. And only 2 turned on over here. So that's not great. We might need another bot assembler, we might have reached that point. But I'll keep an eye on it. We'll not rush into anything at the moment. Over here, we are nearly at 3 tiles deep. So we're nearly at the point where turning this on is worthwhile. We'll probably end up turning off... Initially, we'll turn off 2 of these fluid dumps and just leave 1. And see how that affects the depth of it as it sort of runs through this section. Over here... oh, they're all in. So I've put in some berry bushes just for a bit of variety, but we can get rid of the planting order on all of that. There we go. And we can pause the pair of foresters again. We're pretty close to getting the some of the oaks grow, I think. Yeah, we're 88% of the way done on these first few. So they'll start growing up reasonably soon. Over here... There we go. Oh, oops. There's a tree in the way. Our tubeway station is in and our dams are complete. So we've got another step of that done. You probably, hopefully, saw that I'd cleared a bit of the lower levels of this to open it up and store a bit more water in here without losing too much of that natural shape. I'm probably going to come in and do something around here. I might bring it back in line with this edge here, which might increase evaporation, but it will also store a lot more water, and drop these down to the same level as the base, and do the same with those eventually as well. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing over there. Over here, I've put some steps down into this section so we can deepen it. And you know what? I'm going to get rid of these water wheels and this industrial lumber mill. There we go. So get rid of that because we're not using it. And then I'm going to... Yeah, let's do that. Let's think carefully about doing this. Because we want to be able to get everything done. I'm going to lay in... Having some problems with my computer today. There we go. I'm going to lay in tier 3 explosives there. And I'm going to lay in... If I can... a path under here. I'm going to delete that deep water pump. And I'm going to continue the path all the way up to our tubeway up here. There we go. And in all of this section, we're going to lay tier 3 explosives. Nope, I don't want to lay it there. I want to lay it there. And we'll stick one in there as well. Then what I'll have to do is get rid of this arrangement here. I might get rid of... In fact... I want to get rid of these platforms as well. There we go. And we want to put in explosives in that section too. There we are. Is it worth keeping these water pumps? Don't know. Not sure. Don't think so. We have plenty of water pumps. Even during the drought, we're not actually losing water because we're pumping enough without these. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of all of these and any of the platforms that are supporting them. This is probably a mistake. But I can also get rid of the control tower as well. There's a platform there. Get rid of you. And if I'm getting rid of stuff, I might as well just get rid of the rooftop terrace and these platforms as well, mightn't I? There we go. And then when they're all laid in, we'll... Oops. There we go. When they're all laid in, we'll get rid of this step by step so we can actually lay the explosives in, obviously. And then set the whole lot off. We should probably do the same over here, shouldn't we? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Get rid of all of that. We'll lay in tier 3 explosives in its place. Oh, we also missed the strip. So that was good that we checked. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. The only reason to come out here would be to get to this tubeway station anyway, and it's connected up in both directions, so nobody needs to be getting off there. It's fine. Right. I don't think I've broken any pathways apart from that one. No, I think that'll do. Right. I'll spin on. Right, we're at the start of day 24, so we've got 4 days left of the drought. This reservoir here is pretty full. In terms of the depth that we want. We don't want it leaking out of here necessarily. Oops. I spun around a bit wildly there. I'm lost. There we go. Right, so we will pause 2 of these fluid dumps for the moment. We may need another one on because I think it's a sort of slightly larger surface area. We're going to lose a little bit more water through evaporation than the other one. But we'll turn this water pump on and start filling this up. And then once it's filled up enough, we'll detonate this and see how our little river section operates and looks. Yeah. Down here, we are completed. I've put in some dams across these little sections here as well, so we'll keep a small amount of water in there. I've got these platforms and overhangs just to build out over there. I half tempted to join them up over here, but I can't imagine that anyone's going to use it because there are tubeways that connect it much more efficiently. So I probably won't do anything other than sort of destroy those. We've still got some water in this little section here, surprisingly. Still got a little bit of water in this lake down here, but it looks like only one of the pumps actually has access to any at the moment, and that's likely to run out any second. We do still have some water in this little river section here. This section has evaporated, but everything else seems to be going just fine. Yeah. So we've got a bunch of dams laid in. And speaking of having things laid in, we got some explosives laid in. So let's set these off, shall we? Okay, so once the waters return, that should give us a little bit more in there. Lovely stuff. Can't decide if I'm going to bother coming around and doing this as well. Probably not worth it. But yeah, that should give us a bit more hydration and a bit more water for longer during droughts. Okay. I will spin on one more time. I want to get this flowing by the end of the episode, so I'll spin on the last couple of days of the drought. Hopefully this will have filled up enough in that time for us to be able to set it off. I can't decide whether I want a floodgate up here or a dam or something like that. No, we're going to have a dam. So let's set this explosive off here. There we go. And we'll pause it. Now, floodgate or dam? Floodgate or dam? I like the look of the floodgates. I think they look better than the dams. So yeah, I'm going to use a floodgate. We will put this on a high priority. There we go. Oh, and I know what I will do. If we spin back over here quickly. Let's bring that... Okay. Oh, I know what I'm going to do, I think. Yeah, I'm going to bring down that. I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to place a 3-way suspension bridge in there. Yep, and then we'll bring that down and we'll put... Why am I bringing it back that far? Yeah, we'll just bring it down like that. Put some steps in there and a path in there, and that'll connect up nicely. Yeah. Alright. I'll spin on one more time then. There we go. Cycle 66. The drought is over. We did absolutely fine. We dropped a little bit of water from storage, but that's okay. Obviously, we've taken out the water pumps along here. We've got the explosives in over here, so we can set those off very quickly. There we go. Oops. And we can pop in the steps down and the path. There we go. That's all that sorted. Right. Everything should be set up to go. Obviously, we've got the deeper channel now, so that'll take a little longer to fill. Over here, the water hasn't quite reached the level of dropping out through the floodgate. That's set to 0.85 for the moment. We haven't really settled on a level, so we'll see what happens there. With just one fluid dump on down here, the water level in here fell drastically. So we might actually need all three on. But we'll see what happens. Because obviously as this fills up, this will stop pumping if it gets full enough. So it may be okay. We'll keep an eye on it. Yeah. Everything else is going okay. We did get a few sort of dried out bits and pieces. Hopefully they'll come back to life again once the water in here rises. That should spread the hydration a little bit that way. If not, we may have to think of something else to do up here. So I think what we'll do here is we'll wait until the water starts flowing through here. Okay, so day 2, and we've got to the point where this is occasionally stopping. There you go, because it's reached full depth, but it isn't yet leaking over the edge here. So if we drop this a little bit to say 0.75, that will start to flow. Not very quickly, but it's only a single floodgate going out into what is mostly a 2-wide river. Okay, so that will go around and flow back into this. We'll give it a few minutes to actually do that. And then we're going to be able to see what this is doing to our water level. Whether we are going to need 3 fluid dumps on it to keep it maintained, or whether we can shut some of those down now that this isn't going to be constantly pumping, that it'll be taking breaks. We'll see. Okay, we're nearly halfway around, so let's wait until it gets around to the waterfall here. Well, it is flowing, it's just taking its time. Hopefully, there we go, it's at least started coming down part of the waterfall there. Do we need a wider exit from here. Maybe. Maybe this just isn't enough. Well, if we drop that down to points... no, because that's just going to empty out more quickly, but then it'll drop to the same sort of flow, won't it? It would need to be a wider flow. I don't know. We'll let that run, and at least it is greening some of this area. Not a huge amount, but this is all still brown, obviously. So we'll need to do something with that, even if it's just, again, come in and take that top layer off with explosives and see how that goes. I suppose the other option would be a fluid dump up here to create a bit more of a waterfall, but that seems, you know, wasteful. Although I suppose we could hide it underground, like we've done partially with that. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, it's running. It's mostly working. It's doing roughly what it's intended to do. I could put a dam across there, couldn't I? That's a possibility. Anyway, we will leave the episode there. Our other dams should start doing their job. This isn't going to flow through for a little while until it's filled up this section, but once it does, it should get stopped on the dam there. And then this, thank you autosave, should get stopped on the dam here before flowing through. So that should give us a little bit more hydration in this area. And obviously the same will happen in this river here. That's set about right. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Please do give us a like and a subscribe. Comments down below, and join us next time. Until then, I've been John. This has been Timberborn. Please do take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye-bye.